Hello. It is probably hard to take that in, what I'm going to say now. But it is actually your task and your challenge to bring everything in your life in a really bright white light. And this light will bring everything in order, in a perfect harmony. And that is your duty, and that is your challenge, and that's what you actually know, what you have to do. And everybody here have to learn that. And everybody here will learn that. They have to. There's no other choice. Of course they can protest against that. They can say, no, I have a right to have a nice life, I have a right to have a beautiful life. And I tell you now, you don't have. You don't, not at all, a right to have a beautiful life, unless you bring everything in beautiness again. And yet, that is something that you can do. If you understand that the light in your life is practically that light, but you still possess what you have. It is really tricky, especially in those days. As you know all, the Queen of England, Elizabeth II, had died, passed away yesterday. And now we are all somehow, a lot of people feel somehow very forlorn. And I say, no, she was a rock in my life. Somehow she was always there, and always, it was so reassuring. It was so reassuring to have her in my life. If I'm connected her with her or not, but I love her. Somehow she was my queen. You know, maybe from my accent, I'm probably not English. You're right, I'm German. But somehow she was, in my lifetime, always, somehow she was my queen. She was my queen, somehow. She was the queen of our times, yes. And somehow she was so unshakable. She was really a rock. In my life, at least she was. It was reassuring to know that she was alive. And I'm doubt that the future king knows that, and the future king knows. But it's everybody personal task to bring everything with their own light in order again. The whole mess in our life, smaller or bigger, who knows? But you have to bring it in order again. When you know that you are the light in your life, when you know that you are the bright white in your own life, and this very bright white light can bring everything in order again, then nothing can go wrong anymore. Impossible. It's a bit shaky. It's a bit uncomfortable sometimes, perhaps. But nevertheless, somehow it will work. When you rely on your own light, never rely on somebody else. Maybe he is worthwhile, maybe he is not. But it is not his task. It is not his challenge. It is not his duty to prove for you that he is better than everybody else. Nonsense, bullshit. Whoever think on that? 100 years ago, maybe. But really interesting is, what are you able to do? And what is possible through you? It's not the question that you do something. Actually, the very wise sentence in our history is, actually nobody can do something, but everybody can be something. Oracle von Delphi. Acknowledge yourself. Meet yourself. Who are you? The answer is probably light. My thoughts bring me in bright white light again. That's because you think. Your very thoughts Your very own private thoughts can bring you in a perfect harmony, can bring you in a perfect mood, can bring you in a bright white light again. It can be, yes, if you know that you are bright white light. Then of course everybody is smoking on you and always it's attack you and everybody bring you in danger and whatever. Then of course it's very difficult to understand that you are actually the light in your own life. And now it begins. When you start to know that, then you know another thing as well. Probably you did damage a lot of things in your former life and the life before. Probably you causes a lot of damage. Probably. We all have. We all do. We all did so. Yeah. Okay, we all did so. We probably causes a lot of mess. In short, we have a ghastly mess. Okay, we have a ghastly mess now. But that doesn't mean that we can change again. Of course, we have to bring everything in order again. But that doesn't mean that we have to repair everything. It's not necessary to repair everything. We can't repair everything. It's impossible. But we can close the door behind us. And that is now exactly that what so many people complaining. Oh, the people always ignore my grief, and people ignore me, and nobody take me serious, something like that. Why shall she do so? Why? It's not necessary that they knows you. The point is if you knows you. It is not the question about what everybody think about you. That's not the idea. To run after that. But what is very necessary is that your very own self, practically you, personally, know. Me, I am the light in my life. Me, nobody else. And the more people harm you, the more people attack you, the more people give you causes to grief, or maybe causes you grief. We think people causes our grief. The more you know your light is probably not only in danger, it's darkened. Why? Because you're always busy to think about something which is actually doesn't mean nothing. But the more you pay attention to that, the more this dangerous thoughts became reality for yourself. Somebody else see the same, say, what shouts? And it's not affected for that. I have had a lot of grief in my life. I can tell you that. I have a lot of grief in my life. But don't think that this brings me everything in. I mean, there's no reward for that. Oh yes, you suffer so much. Oh yes, I suffer a lot of things. Yes, I did, including lose my own child. Definitely. But tell you what, the reward for that is not very, very, very high. The thing is not that I did suffer, that I was suffering. The point is, did I come over that? And how? As long as I remember that I am light, everything will melt away. And I have to accept that there's no guarantee in life that something is really yours, belongs to you, unless it belongs to you because there's a similarity between you and that's what you would like to have. A beloved person, the same. You have no right that this person you love, in love with, loves you as well. He will do so when there's a similarity between you and the other guy. That is something that you have to understand. Your very own thoughts can bring you in a bright white light, clothe you, give you clothes and everything, and a nice house and something like that. your thoughts manage that, to bring those stuff in your own life. But only if your own thoughts, that's what you think, bring that to the surface, also bring that into daylight. And that means that we all have to repair and bring ourselves in order. Not the other guys, not the other people. And never ever complain about something. Never ever do. Because when you do so, it shows that you have a relationship to that. That you have in any way, that there's a link between you and the other stuff. When you complain about somebody, always furious and red with anger, when you always complain about somebody else, it shows only one thing. There is a link between you and the other guy. And this other guy is welcome to enter your life whenever he likes. And that brings you and your feelings and your thoughts and everything in the highest danger. Close the door behind that. Maybe it was pretty nasty. Okay, it was pretty nasty then. But you have had a resonance for it. You have been the target for that. And the target you can always only be when you have a similarity to that. That is hard to take in. It's hard stuff. My words, very little people understand. Not very little people, but very little. The number of people are very, very small. Not so much. I don't say. I like to say what I'm saying is not so crowded by people. They're not so happy with that. What I'm saying. Of course, they're not happy. Somebody is in grief, and somebody is mourning about something, and somebody always feel pity with something or whatever. And then I comes along and I say, by the way, when you really suffer from that, it is because you have a resonance for that. So please change that and bring it in a higher vibration. Do you think the guy will love me for that? No, of course not. He cry only harder. For the good reason. But sooner or later you will understand that. We have to do. And we understand. I mean, we are maybe in some ways we have our tiny faults, but we have to overcome that. And by the way, in some ways we really suffer in that way. Sometimes it's really pretty nasty. But never forget, you never have to change more and to transform more as you are able to do. You have really a higher self. Of course you have a higher self. Some people believe in God and a higher self, and then some people think there's a power beyond us and they bring everything in order. And I tell you what, that is nonsense. No other power will bring anything in order as long you are not able to do that as well. A lot of people believe in God, yes. Oh, God, my life, God, my consolation, my Lord is my light, or something like that. Oh, nice. But this light will leave you in the lurch. When you're not able to take this light and bring everything in your own life, in light again. That is the great idea. And by the way, the late Queen Elizabeth II, I never think that I'm able to say that, the late Queen Elizabeth II did know that. Maybe she didn't know that she knows that she knows that, but she also did so. She was stable and unshakable, so it seems. That's because we mourn so much about her. And I do the same. I miss her. Now already. She's hardly 24 hours dead and I start to mourn. And I miss her dearly. Well, time change. Now, come on, you young ones. That's us. We have to know that we are the rock in our life, and in our light and everything. We are the inner center from which every light spread out. It's us. Sooner or later we will die. Of course we will die, sooner or later. And then we come in our inner circle, and we come back to our inner circle. But in the meantime, as long as we are here, we have to understand that. And we will change whatever you have on your consciousness, whatever you have on your plate. Probably there was something pretty nasty things what we've done. And probably there was pretty nasty things that we have to endure. My life wasn't very easy, not at all. But there's no reward for me because my life was difficult. That's not the point. The question is, do I get the idea that I change everything in bright white light again? That's the point. And now comes a sentence from Macbeth. Shakespeare, Macbeth. He did something, and Duncan, his king, tell him, want to reward him, and Macbeth answer, the good deed is a reward in itself, something like that. That's the point. The more you change in bright white light, the more you change in perfectly peacefully flow of energy, the better is your life, and the better is that what you will face. And that, I mean, is worth to try it out. I know that a lot of people try to discuss it, and is there any evidence in science? Oh, shuck, forget it. I'm not interested in to prove in anything in science or whatever, because I think that is bare nonsense. But for us it's necessary to know I and me and I alone and my only life transform everything in bright white light, and so nothing can come to darken it. Maybe I have had a similarity to that because of my former lives. Possible. No, yes, of course, probably. Why else shall that be in my life? Why? Unless with a reason, with a good reason. And a good reason, probably I open myself the door for them. Okay, then I shut it down. I close the door again. Change everything again in harmony and light and happiness and peace and whatever. And that's it. One thing you have to know: catastrophes, grief, sadness, enemies, wars, bombshells, everything like that, happen only in the darkness, never in light. When somebody suffers, he suffers because the darkness around him. When somebody lives in an area in war or something like that, it's dark around himself. And everybody else who shares this catastrophes. Okay? What happened when those kind of people start to remember they are light? They stop. We change every energy in bright white light again. Life is changing. Nothing is that what it would have been yesterday. It's impossible. Everything is changing. The life is nothing else but is always a play of transforming. So transform everything in a good idea, in a good energy, in bright light. I think of nothing else but bright light must be fabulous, must be brilliant. By the way, I wish myself back into light. That's the first idea that comes in the morning when I wake up. I wish myself back in my bright white light. But definitely, the door is closed when I'm not able to transform everything in bright white light. That's because I have it. That's because I'm here. That's because I tell. That's because I try to make myself understand. We will hope it works. Okay, thanks for listening, and good luck to you. And by the way, whoever say, I want to be that again, will be that again. It takes maybe a short time. Yes. Considering that what we have behind us, what we left behind us, we have to close a lot of doors which we all have opened before. And it is not so easy to close the doors because a lot of people say, no, we want to have it open, we want to go through. And you say, no, I want that you... It is funny, actually, there's a door, and you like to close it, and at the other sides, and a lot of people, no, we won't go in. Oh, it is a bit struggle, yes. Struggle it may be, but you have no other choice. I lost my daughter as she was 2 years old. That was pretty nasty. I have had no choice. I was helpless. I could nothing do. There was nothing else to do as to leave that, because there's something to do with the services here in Germany, the help services and whatever. And I was not inclined to fight for my custody for her or something. There were so pretty ideas to, you can visit your daughter. She was 2 years old. I can visit my daughter twice a month without to contact her, without to touch her or something, to hug her or something. I mean, it was impossible. I mean, what child is this 2 years old and almost a baby? When the beloved mommy comes and not even touch her. That's the idea from those people. I'm sorry, I fear must decline. I have to accept that life goes on. And when people are on that trip, we never knows what comes out of that. People say, oh, I know. As much you say something which darkened your own mind, you darken the mind of other people as well. If you do so, the other guy is maybe in danger to lose trust in life and happiness. Maybe. If you remember I'm bright white light, that will pass away. But the person who causes that, he is really in a trap. He is really in a trap. Because that is not so easy to cure. It is possible, but it takes a lot of power, inner power, and it is you call that when you have to give your supreme effort. The question is if you yourself have a special interest in yourself. You see, that's what I'm trying to say and to tell you. To say I am bright white light means shows at first one thing. You have a very strong interest for yourself. And you have no interest at all to harm somebody else. Because that is something what is for bright white light impossible. It is crystal energy, by the way. It reminds us of Jesus Christ. No wonder. But crystal energy is really able to repair everything. But one thing crystal energy never is able to do. To harm somebody. Impossible. And you never can bring crystal energy in danger. It's impossible. Because when danger is close to crystal energy, the danger turns around and start to rotate in crystal energy. And what happens? It's changing in crystal energy as well. Is that clear? I'm sorry, but I'm not so accustomed to talk in English and to explain that in English, but I tried again. Let's think you are really bright light, crystal energy. Crystal energy, nothing else but crystal energy. And there's something would like to bring you in danger. And so it comes closer to you. What will happen? Because crystal energy is always in transforming anything and everything. In crystal energy, the danger very quickly change into crystal energy. And there's no danger at all. Not anymore. That is the idea behind that. Understand? We are the guys who have to bring everything in order again. Okay, the crystal energy is very crystal energy, haha, Jesus Christ. We see, you see, I come from Germany, and I think you can really hear that. And we say Jesus Christus. In English, it would mean Jesus Christ us. Okay, Jesus, let's say Jesus, doesn't matter now if his name is Jesus or not, but Christ us is interesting. It's interesting, huh? We say Christus. In English, it would mean Jesus, Christus, Christ us. Christ us mean that we everything bring in crystal energy. And that is of no interest which person will do that now. Everybody can do that. The question is not his name is Jesus or John or Laramie or whatever. Or Christina or Mary or Pauline, Paula or something. Doesn't matter at all. Everybody in person is able to have crystal energy and try and transform everything in crystal energy. As long the own thoughts brighten your own spirit and your own mind. Is that clear? I hope so. And I'm sorry that I'm not so accustomed to talk in English. It is a pretty long time that I did so. But I hope somehow it's understandable what I'm saying. I think it works. And we don't need much words for it, actually. The very own sentence, the very only sentence, I like to be crystal energy. I like to be white light. I like to be bright white light. That's the trick. That's the point. But you have to know that you start with yourself, not with the other guys. I mean, it is of no interest to go somebody to your neighbor and ding dong and tell him, I tell you what, you have to be. And it's not the question if you do so or not. The question is if you do so. Okay, start. I tell you that. This sentence, this thought, I want to be light, bright, white light, which transform everything in light again. The sentence, I like to have a high vibration, do the trick. But then comes the transforming. And I tell you what, in the meantime, headache. There comes headache. But the more you get it, the more you hear your guardian angel. I mean, really your guardian angel, or maybe Jesus Christ, or maybe your higher self or something. You see, the idea is you have a perfect version from yourself. More perfect doesn't work. No, it's not possible. You are perfect. Your higher version is. Your higher self is. You maybe have some tiny faults. We have to repair that a bit, but not we, but you. So I do nothing. You do. And that's the point. And then you can easily work and deal with your own problems. It is necessary now. We sooner or later we gradually lost our pillars on our lives. I tell you that I'm German, and as Chancellor Merkel goes away, but no, not her. I need her somehow, but then she was away. She's still alive, of course, but she is not a chancellor anymore. Now the Queen is away. Liebe Zeit, what comes next? Okay, the knowledge that I am light, and in my life I am the light. In your life, you are the light, and bring everything in order again. The more you're complaining, you more say, no, that is not possible, no, that is something else, or no, we have to pray for somebody else, or something like that. Why? Why shall you pray for somebody else when your own self is perfect? Not even Jesus Christ is more perfect. Not even the highest God is more perfect. Oh, by the way, the highest God is light. Did you ever get the idea that God, what you all say, God, on hear my praise and something like that? Nonsense. God is light, bright white light. And as much you say, God, my light, you mean yourself. But when you always doubt your own possibilities, yeah, then of course nothing works. That's because it was the saying, you are able to do everything, and you're much more mighty as me. It was Jesus Christ who said that, huh? I can do wonder, and you can do the same wonders, and some wonders more, much more than me. Maybe, but I'm not in a competition with somebody. I'm fine when I can bring my own duties and something in order. Well, then I can bring my own affairs in order. All right, and then of course nobody give me a cause to have grief or something like that. Nobody can give me any bad times or what. Not anymore. 20 years ago it was different. 30 years ago it was different. 50 years ago it was different. And it was a sweet little baby and crying. No, actually not really, and I never cry. It was unnecessary. But then I begin to get elder, and my parents didn't understand the life as I do now. Can't blame them. They were young and have no ideas. In earlier times, I was young and had lots of no ideas. I didn't know how the hair rises is. I didn't know that. But now I know. That's the point. And by the way, I will say that the headcock and the hair. There was a race between headcock and hair, no? Wasn't it? When the headcock, actually the hair didn't know that he was running against two headcocks, and so the hare was running, and then at the end of the chase, always one headcock cries, "I'm already here," and of course the hare couldn't win. Well, it is in your life. It's the same. Wherever you go, somebody cries, "I'm already here," and that is you. You always see yourself, and when you don't like what you see, change your own energy, for heaven's sake. You have no time to lose. And by the way, What you're waiting for? Another guy will not do that. Even Jesus Christ couldn't help you. You have to clean yourself from your own sins, from your own errors and whatever. Clean yourself again. Everything is good. What I'm saying is not for everybody, because it is a question of your own development. How you increase. If you are able to take in something unusual, then what I'm saying is unusual. The idea that we are in full responsibility for your own faults and for your own lives, in the future we will always be, is something, we have to think a little bit more. And this time we are very careful that our thoughts will not harm us. Neither us, nor the other guys. And that's because we say peace. Peace with you. That's we say. Demon says peace with you. I hope that's the same as what you're saying. So we can live in our life very, very peacefully. We can think in that way. I wish you all the best, and I mean all the best. And it will be you who can bring your own energy in everything what what's starting on you, in a very high vibration, in a very high energy. The higher your energy is, the more everything starts to transform in a high energy as well. Even when somebody comes in order that he will harm you, he has no chance, because everything is transformed in a higher energy again. You know that. When you eat something, you bring everything in that energy your body need to live. So, thanks for listening, and maybe we'll see us again. Bye-bye.